Yo, what's up? Welcome back to yet another video. So I saw this video and this one of the YouTube that I watch from Africa because first of all, I feel like there are very few, sorry, excuse me. There are very few YouTubers who use YouTube for positive things and like not only positive things in terms of like, oh look, wow, this beautiful, and not like just sugarcoating everything because it seems like that's what people want. But there are people who are telling the truth of like, okay, what is going on? So I have talked a little bit about South African issues with immigration, and nobody has said it better than this guy right here. I'm not going to play the whole video, so you can. I'll leave a link in the bio below, in the description, so you can go and watch his channel, subscribe to him. He's a big YouTube channel, so really, me as a small YouTuber advertising him doesn't actually do bad. Like, I don't know, he doesn't need it. But if you will appreciate it, if you are interested in African issues, so yeah, here we go. Let's we're gonna watch a few points that I think he made that are really rare to see on YouTube, because sometimes when Africans talk about Africa, it's always sugar coated and it's more misinformation to somebody who might be interested in like investing or going to Africa for business or pleasure or what. So here we go.
If you haven't been on my TikTok live at 6 p.m. Ghana time, you may assume that what I'm about to talk about are things I'm making up, but I'm not. Those who watch me will attest to it. And I have a few videos to show you, so don't worry about that. First of all, this platform has one agenda, and that is the African agenda, throwing light on the good, the bad, and the ugly across the continent. I do this in hope that one day, ladies and gentlemen, African countries can live in secured, peaceful, and prosperous continent where we can travel easily and live comfortably in any part of the continent we so desire, ladies and gentlemen.
And basically, that's what I'm trying to do. To say, okay, when we're talking about African politics, African countries, African places, African ideas, African this, the ultimate goal is for every African, like, you have to be able to drive from Cairo to Cape Town without having to fear to bribe a police officer here and there, avoiding other places because there might be rebels, whatever. Like, that's the only reason why I am talking about Africa in that regard. And I think most of the time it sounds like it's a negative thing, but it's actually a good thing. And I know that there's so many other people that are just focusing on one thing and one person and one country and say, this is the only way. But, you know, the whole plan should be like every African should be free to live in any African country. But we cannot do that now. There has to be a few steps that have to be taken. Anyway, let him.
This is my number one agenda, and in that sense, the Nigerian government and the people must choose to wake the hell up. It's long overdue, and every well-meaning person on this continent must voice out their displeasure with some of their acts until we all force the hands of the Nigerian government to start acting right and make changes in their countries, ladies and gentlemen, because until that is achieved, we all have a problem on our hands. But at the same time, South Africa must grow the hell up. Ladies and gentlemen, they must grow the hell up and play the role of a true developed African country and stop with all the blame games going on.
He's actually correct, because South Africa is one of those countries that actually, South Africa and Nigeria, I believe, I have said this in so many other videos, I believe that those two countries, if they can do some things, the whole continent will just follow behind them, because they are already the example of like education, development, and just like hard work and all the things. And South Africa is the most developed country in the world, not just in Africa, in the world. Like, people would live in South Africa other than living elsewhere. So, yeah, he's correct.
Institutions are compromised and therefore unresponsive. And that's why, or that's where all the problems lies. Let's stop taking lives, whether they are in the wrong or innocent, and allow the laws to work in South Africa.
Yeah, but now he's talking about xenophobia and like all the attacks that are happening on foreigners and stuff like that. So
this is no more a matter of online banters. It is real. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cyrus, and I'm going to talk about Nigeria and South Africa in the areas of continental security, immigration, and economies. I entreat you to join me on this journey.
Okay, I'm gonna forward it to here. So you can watch the whole thing on his channel. So let's
and directly indulge in working in areas of drug peddling, prostitution, and in some cases kidnapping, even armed robbery. If you choose to sugarcoat this, it could be you are simply naive or dishonest or nonchalant about.
Yeah, if you choose to ignore all the stuff that other people are doing in South Africa, that South Africans are complaining about, then you are also part of the problem, because you are saying like they should just look away when they see that their country is no longer what they want it to be. So if you say, oh no, you guys are just overreacting, like, then you are the problem. So, I mean, I know I skipped very important parts that he said. So go check it out yourself. Let's play it a little bit here.
How people have suffered at the hands of such incidents from Nigerians, or maybe you are sexually involved with one. Because apart from that, the truth is the truth, no matter where you go. Nigerians are on the watch list of every statistical crime sheet in the world. You can't tell me the entire world hate them or got it wrong. When a Nigerian comes to your country, ladies and gentlemen, and arrogantly brandishes money he's making off from criminal activity he's involved in, and tells you your police can do nothing to me, or has the police in his pocket, you definitely won't take it lightly. This happens even in Ghana. For some of these reasons, many black non-Nigerians in South Africa have been mistaken for Nigerians and suffered attacks, and some shot dead. This has nothing to do with being smart or sharp when it comes to Nigeria. It's criminality and must be treated as such.
Yeah, so he's saying all the main things that South Africans are complaining about, like just like not being respectful to the country, and I don't think like he's not wrong. Please go watch the whole video, because you will agree. You know, there's such thing when you are like a visitor and you're visiting somebody else's home. You have to respect what they do in their home. You know, you cannot just come and say, you know, I'm above all your values here at home and I'm gonna do my own thing, and you can do anything about it because you know what you're gonna do. So I think that's he's like, South Africans are valid when they're talking about this, and I talked about this, and people were, even from South Africa, they're like, no, focus on your country. But understand, there's a lot of frustration, and I think these frustrations are not just made up. You know, they're real. They're based off of what people see. They're not just like an attack just because. So yeah, it's good to see that there's other people that are talking about this, and he is even bolder than me, just like saying it harshly and putting the words as harsh as he possibly can, because sometimes I think we need that as people. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.